for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. As you may have known, we had been invited to Delhi Meher Prem Mela. We just returned yesterday. I can see Cherry on my screen. She was there,
Oh,
and
Jai Baba.
there was one Rakesh. We all know Rakesh Gupta. He was there, so we met. Of course, Cherry I had met before also. So what I'm trying to convey is, if in the midst of my talk, if I get into Hindi, know that I still am carrying the Delhi in my mind, because over there I had to speak in Dui Bhasha. Anyway, so now we are doing this eternal calendar. This is the 4th of April. We are reading the 4th of April. Go ahead.
Each moment with which man is confronted can either tighten the grip of the false or deliver him to the truth. Material happiness is a millionth shadow of the true divine bliss. The value of material things depends upon the part they play in the life of the spirit. In themselves, they are neither good nor bad. They become good or bad according to whether they help or hinder the manifestation of divinity through them.
Wonderful. Each moment we talk about day to day, let this help us in our day to day living. No, day is too long. It is moment to moment living. Every moment, Baba says, each moment with which man is confronted can either tighten the grip of the false or deliver him to the truth. In other words, every moment is a new moment, a fresh moment, which will help us either to become more and more bound or more and more free, emancipated. It all depends upon how we make use of that moment. Somebody had sent me a very nice WhatsApp. I forget the exact words, but words to the effect that it was about the day, that each day when it goes, there is no carry forward of the time that you may have wasted in making use of it to your benefit. In other words, every day is a separate unit, and it's not like it's like how your geo data. Every day you get 1.5 whatever it is, GB, and if you don't use it, it doesn't get carried forward to the next day. So every day we must try to make use of every moment in such a way. There was some reference to good and bad, where Baba said, there is nothing good, there is nothing bad. What is good is any thought, word, or action that is taking you closer to the truth, closer to reality, can be considered as good action. And conversely, any thought, speech, or act which takes you away from the truth binds you, and that is supposedly called the bad act. Parvez Patel, can you please mute your mic, dear? Thank you. So, every moment we are given an opportunity, every moment, as Baba says, each moment to propel us towards the truth, towards the self, towards Baba, or we go away from Baba. There is no moment which is, you can say, neutral. It has neither taken us closer nor taken us far. There's no neutral moment. It has the propelling factor is whether I am doing it out of selfishness or out of selflessness. Whether I am doing it with Baba as my constant companion or keeping Baba away and doing whatever I feel like doing. This is my interpretation to this first 3 lines. I'll repeat the lines. Each moment with which man is confronted can either tighten the grip of the false or deliver him to the truth. So we need to be aware, we need to be conscious, we need to be mindful of every moment and what our thoughts are, what our speech is, and what our actions are, and try to modulate it in a way that we go closer and closer to Baba. Material happiness is a millionth shadow of
Yes.
millionth shadow of the true divine bliss. In conversations with the awakener, I distinctly remember, and I'm sure some of you would also remember, how beautifully Baba is distinguishing between pleasure, happiness, joy, and bliss. And here also the Baba talks about divine bliss. So, and elsewhere Baba had said that in terms of sexual act, Baba had said that that is supposed to give the maximum pleasure at the gross level. And it is not even the seventh shadow of the divine bliss, which means the shadow ka shadow ka shadow ka shadow ka, like that, and we feel happy about it. So, in other words, what Baba is trying to convey is that irrespective of how much of material happiness you may have, roti kapra makan, or whatever that you may call it, I am materially very happy. That is only the millionth part of the divine bliss. And we are supposed to reach that divine bliss. And the easiest way to reach Kuma Firake, as I say, I come to this point only. That if the easiest, surest, because Baba promised, safest, because there is no risk involved in that, and the quickest, because it is like this, is to remember Baba's name when we breathe our last. Because Baba himself has promised that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes to me. And then there's a whole paragraph which I'm not going to recite now, say now. Somebody asked Baba, what does it mean, come to me? So Baba said, coming to me means that particular soul will experience infinite bliss eternally. And then Baba explained that that soul does not have to reincarnate in the human form. He also explained that that is not a state of perfection, which is a perfect master or any kind of perfection or perfect one. It is that that particular soul will experience what Baba talks about, the divine bliss, which is infinite and eternal. Next paragraph says, the value of material things depends upon the part they play in the life of the spirit. Life of the spirit means life of us. We are not human beings having a spirit within us. Okay, you make a human being and then put a spirit. No, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And to that extent, irrespective of what is good or what is bad, is not that particular item of materialistic nature. How have we used it in order to, you can say, augment our spiritual journey? So Baba says the value of material things depends upon the part they play in the life of the spirit, in themselves, objectively, in themselves, taken in isolation, that way, in themselves, they are neither good nor bad. So Baba keeps saying, there is nothing like good, there is nothing like bad. It all depends upon what is the intent, what is the motive behind which you do certain acts. And we have seen those examples of somebody who is drowning and somebody jumps in and gives him a tight slap at bash and makes him unconscious. The giving of the tight slap is supposedly a bad act as per the books, but then he's doing it in order to save the person. So the intent or the intention motive behind that so-called bad act was good, and therefore the result is good. The other example which Baba had given in the discourses was that there's a thief who enters a home to steal something, and he finds that the lady has just delivered a baby and she had no milk to feed the baby. The baby was crying. So what does that thief do? He goes to some other place, goes to a dairy or whatever, some other house, and then steals milk. Now the act of stealing is supposedly not good, it's bad. But he steals it and gives it to this lady to feed the baby. That act, that means the intention behind the stealing was to be selflessly helping somebody. So even though the act is supposedly bad, it is considered as a good act. So your Baba says that in themselves they are neither good or bad. They become good or bad according to whether they help or hinder the manifestation of divinity through them. Does it anything? Supposing I have a fancy car, I'm roaming around Soumya all over Bombay and India, fine, nothing wrong. But if I use supposing there's an emergency and if I use that car to help somebody drop the person at the hospital or the clinic or something, now the use is something which has really, what Baba says, manifestation of divinity. In other words, all materialistic things in themselves are neither good or bad. It all depends upon what use we put those material things, whether they are helping in the manifestation of divinity through the use of those things. All right. Any question? No. Go ahead. Hmm. Sorry? Really? Okay, okay. This is April 5. You can see the photograph. Oh, sorry. Is it clear? Yeah. So somebody is bowing down to Baba. This is the Wadia Park Darshan program. It was held at the Khushru Quarters, which is now the Avatar Meher Baba Trust.
Before go
Okay, go ahead.
Before going to sleep, say, Baba, I entrust all that I did to you. Thoughts, spoken words, good and bad deeds. When you wake up, say, Baba, I now begin entrusting all to you. This much will be more than sufficient for me. Say it only twice a day for 5 minutes. Do that and make me responsible wholeheartedly for all that you think, speak, and do, but wholeheartedly. Then you are free. Nothing can bind you, but you must do it honestly. I am the ocean. I can accept both fragrant flowers and coconuts and also filth.
Aban or Parvez has a question. I don't know if it's Aban or Parvez. Go ahead, please. There's a hand up.
Nahi, 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 nahi.
Are you sure?
Nahi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was my hand only. All right. Now Baba is making it so easy. He is making it so simple for us to remember him in a most natural way. At one time, Baba had said, the first thing you get up in the morning, think about Baba just for a few seconds. 12 noon, think about me. 5 in the evening, think about me. And the last thing before you go to bed and go to sleep, think about me. That should be enough. Elsewhere, he said so many different ways of why did he use so many different? Because sometimes, we click with certain formula that Baba has given. So here Baba says, before going to sleep, say, Baba, I entrust all that I did to you, all thoughts, spoken words, good and bad deeds. So before going to bed, honestly, that's what Baba says, but do it honestly, do it with wholeheartedly. The intent is important. To genuinely lift all your burden, all your everything and put it on Baba. Baba, it is yours. You manage it. Thoughts, spoken words, good and bad deeds. And when you wake up, say, Baba, I now begin entrusting all to you. When you get up in the morning, Baba says, just do that for 5 minutes. This much will be more than sufficient for me. Say it only twice a day for 5 minutes. Do that and make me responsible wholeheartedly for all that you think, speak, and do, but wholeheartedly. Here, Baba says, I am willing to take all your responsibilities. Because in truth or in reality, the finite I does not exist. There's no I, it's only him. But the point is that we have to honestly, sincerely, wholeheartedly feel that I am not doing, I am not speaking, I am not thinking. It is you who is doing things through me. I remember once two things that come to my mind, and I have shared this on this platform. There was one person in one of the darshan programs or savas programs. He asked Baba, Baba, I want to ask you a question. Uh, Supposing I do something so-called sinful, wrong, bad, hurtful, consciously, knowingly, knowing that it is not good, and knowing that I shouldn't be doing, I do it. Am I ultimately responsible for it? This I had shared it in the Delhi session also. And Baba nodded and said, no, you are not responsible, but you will have to bear the consequences. See, Baba is so smart. He said, you are not responsible. Because ultimately, the entire responsibility for everyone and everything in creation is mine. Because I have created this creation. But because you are the creature in that creation, because and therefore because you have not yet realized, then that is why the law of a law of karma operates upon you. As we have done this before, the dominion of the law of karma is the domain of duality. As long as we are in duality, forget about right and wrong, good and bad, vice and virtues, and all that. It is only cause and effect. You do something, you bear the consequences. So Baba said, same thing. You will have to bear the consequences, but you are not responsible. Once somebody had asked Eraj, everybody says it is Baba doing through me, it is Baba doing, Baba thinking, Baba speaking and all that. But don't you think it's a hypocrisy? Don't you think it is wrong to think like that? When I am thinking, when I am speaking, and when I am doing, how can I say it is Baba doing? Because my feeling is that I am doing it, you know. And Neeraj gave a very splendid, marvelous reply, saying that the fact of the matter is that it is Baba who is doing it. But because of our ignorance, we think that it is we who, the correct thing is that actually it is Baba only doing, but you think it is you are doing. So gradually over a period of time, you have to hammer this in your mind that I am not the doer, I am not the karta, I am not the one who's doing all. It is he who is playing different roles in different bodies and in different things, and it is he only who is doing it. And here also you will find that Baba is gradually weaning us away Baba is doing it. Now, as it stands now at this point in time, we may not be able to experience that Baba is doing it. But because Baba has said so, because he wants us to think so, what's the harm in doing? What's the harm in thinking that it is Baba who is doing through me? And you offer everything that you have done through the day and offer it to Baba. At one place, Baba had said that when I say, give all your worries to me, because if you don't worry, then I will have to worry for you. But if you are worrying, then I will say, okay, you are worrying, let me keep worrying. What can I do? So Baba says, give your worries to me, give your problems and troubles to me. But what do? We lift the worry problem from our head and take it towards Baba's head and keep it hanging like this. These are Baba's words. That you lift it from your head, you bring it to my head, but you never put it on me. And now there is a tension, there is a suspense whether you are going to give it to me or take it back. And more often than not, we take it back as if it is such a priceless thing that we don't want to part with it. We don't want to give our troubles to Baba. So that is where Baba says that you must give all your worries to me. And giving all the worries to him does not, in my interpretation, does not mean that it may get over or it may not get over at all. But yet you think it is not my worry, it is not my tension. In other words, such an act helps us to dissociate ourselves from the body consciousness. I am this body. No, I hope I'm coming across that once you offer it to him, whatever you may go through, just think Baba wants me to go through this. It is for my benefit, and I am going through it because I have already given my troubles to Baba. That way. All right. May I ask some question? Bolo ji. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Jai Baba. Actually,
Oh,
Yasmin here.
Yasmin. Okay.
I'm talking through Meher's mobile. You know, when you talk of you have to suffer the consequences of your actions, right? That's a law of karma, right? And
Yes.
many people propagate this that we can do what we like. We are Baba's children. We will be forgiven everything. So we have not to be hypocrites. We can do what we like. And Baba will forgive us because he is our compassionate father. So he will forgive us. But there is a difference between forgiveness and escaping karma, right? Baba may forgive you, and anyone can forgive, but you still have to suffer the consequences of your actions. Is that right or no?
Okay, let me speak now. About forgiveness, there is a reference in Listen Humanity where Baba says, when I forgive you, normally we are in the chakra view of action. Actions causes impressions. Impressions wanting to expressions, wanting to give expressions. Expressions gives us an experience, and experience gives us another impression. And there is a vicious circle like that. No way to come out of it. Baba says, when I tell you that I have forgiven you, as you rightly said, Yasmin, we have to face our consequences, but Baba will find a way out for us so that we can escape the consequences through counter actions or something that we do better, which will, which will undo the consequences of the past. This is my understanding. So what you are saying is correct. We cannot be irresponsible. Well, it is up to Baba to forgive anybody and anything, irrespective of what one may have done. That is his prerogative. We cannot enter into his kshetra and say, oh, Baba, how did you forgive that fellow? He did this. No, it is Baba's business. But by and large, what I understand is that it would not be proper, it would be improper to do certain things, especially to hurt somebody and do something which is not expected of us to do, and then think that Baba would forgive. I remember I had narrated this in this platform, on this platform, that once Alobaji had come to our center several years back, several years back, and somebody had asked a similar question about forgiveness. That Jesus said he will forgive for X number of times. How many times Baba would forgive? And he gave a very beautiful reply. He says, irrespective of how many times you genuinely falter, he will forgive you. He will forgive you because mercy is God's nature. Baba himself says that the act of forgiveness is already built into the act of sin. So it is the forgiveness is given. And then he said something which is very profound. He said, just because you know Baba will forgive and you continue to do something which is so-called sinful, is not done. It's not proper. That is what he said. That does not mean that he will not forgive. He will forgive. But then that is his department, Yasmin. We need not get into that part as to why he is forgiving, how much he can forgive. He will keep forgiving. But just because he is forgiving doesn't mean that we continue.
No. What I am saying, Cyrus, what I am saying is this is something very at a mystical level. You know, forgiveness is at a mystical level. It is not that, okay, now you will forgive it. Like Christians go for confession, they confess, and next week they're doing the same thing, right? I mean, whatever. Some people do that. They go for confession, very sorry.
So let's
forgive us.
So see, this is very mystical. He will keep on mystically forgiving, and we will do mystically and keep on. It's like that. So Soumya has to share something. Say to them no. Soumya is shy to speak to everybody. Anyway, so in short, he is all merciful. Baba says mercy is God's nature and therefore he forgives. But at the same time, see, then we will be where we are. If we really want to progress and come closer to Baba, then we need to at least try to do certain things that will please Baba and try to avoid things which will displease Baba.
And be responsible.
And be responsible. Soumya loves to prompt to me rather than to speak on the anyway. So I suppose that should clear our doubt. Okay, I showed the photograph over here. This was the three incredible week that was February Wadia Park, 1954, September the 12th, September the 12th. So I was aware, but unless I'm very sure, I try not to put it on record that way. All right. So again, I'll repeat this before going to sleep. Baba, say, Baba, I entrust all that I did to you, thoughts, spoken words, good and bad deeds. When you wake up, see, Baba is spoon feeding us. I don't think any of the past advents. I've not very well read about the other advent. He's telling us the so-called DIY, do it yourself kind of kit, that now he's spoon feeding. When you get up in the morning, you say, Baba, I start entrusting everything that I will speak and do and act, thought, think and speak and do to you. Say that I have now started to entrust you. At the end of the day, simply say, Baba, I entrust you. Do it honestly. And when honestly, sincerely, wholeheartedly come, in my mind, what comes is be detached, give. Once you have given, you don't think about it. Supposing you give some help to somebody, some beggar comes and you give some money. I don't give, but supposing somebody gives, do you keep on saying, now what will he do with that money? Now how will he spend it? Will he whether he will spend it at home? We don't. We just give means give, we have forgotten. So when you offer it to Baba, you just forget about the issue at all. You know that what are the repercussions of that? Let Baba be responsible for it. When you wake up, say, Baba, I now begin entrusting all to you. This much will be more than sufficient for me. See how beautiful our Lord is. This is enough. That is that link, that connect, that channel we have laid for the day with Baba. Then automatically He will take care of it. Say it only twice a day for 5 minutes. Do that and make me responsible wholeheartedly for all that you think, speak, and do, comma, but wholeheartedly. This is where the issue comes. Are we really giving or we are just pretending to give? Since, apparently we may do. So, for example, apparently I may bow down at Baba's feet, but in my mind, I'm thinking of some other thing. So I'm not bowing down to Baba, I'm bowing down to that. So that wholeheartedly is very important that we need to cultivate, but wholeheartedly. Then you are free. Nothing can bind you, but you must do it honestly. Again, the word honestly comes here. I am the ocean. I can accept both fragrant flowers and coconuts and also filth. Elsewhere, Baba had said, that your mind is like a pond, a small pond, where little things agitate you, irritate you, it really shakes you up. I am like the ocean. So no amount of filth that you put it in my ocean is ever going to pollute the water of my ocean, because after all, it's an ocean. And when Baba talks about himself as the ocean, he's not talking about the physical ocean, which is the Antarctic or Atlantic or Pacific or Indian. That is just a dot in that ocean, not even a dot in that ocean. So we must cultivate a practice of really offering it to him honestly and sincerely, and leave it at that and make Baba responsible for everything. Perhaps in the process of doing that honestly and sincerely, I say perhaps, we will ourselves become so responsible that we will try not to throw trash into Baba's ocean. We will ourselves become responsible of what we think and speak and do. But even that so-called good thoughts, good words, good deeds, we need to offer it to Baba. We are on April 6th. This is Baba's beautiful photograph.
My message has always been and always will be love divine. When one wholeheartedly loves God, one eventually loses oneself in the beloved and enters the eternal life of God. Like a tree, such love has branches, branches of wholehearted devotion, perfect non-violence, perfect selfless service, self-denial, self-sacrifice, self-renunciation, truth, and self-annihilation. In this love is embodied all the yogas known to saints and seekers. The highest aspect of this love, which surpasses that of love itself, is the aspect of complete surrenderance to the will of the beloved, that is, absolute obedience to his wishes, whatever the cost.
Yes, Sam has a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Cyrus, sorry to interrupt, but before you go on to the new page,
Sorry?
before you go on to this new page,
Haji.
could you please tell us about your Delhi trip very briefly? I'm very eager to hear this.
Why? Okay, I don't think with the other people, 19 people, anyway. In short, I'll make it short, but you can make a private call. I will. Okay.
Okay, I'll make a private call then.
Because we are on a subject and we would be digressing. If you don't mind.
Yeah, okay.
If you permit me.
Yeah.
Kind permission. Thank you, dear. Thanks. Or I'll make you a call at my own sweet time. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we are on April 6th. My message has always been and always will be love divine. When somebody had asked something about that same thing, Baba, what is your message to the world? And Baba said that from time immemorial, my message has always been love God and become God. So his message has this three-pronged stuff. One is love. And there's a lot written about love, love, how to love God and all that. We'll come to that also. The second is of selfless service. For love, we keep saying, and it's my pet line, love is that which gives and does not expect anything in return. So in other words, disinterested love, where I'm not interested in what am I going to get, I'm totally selfless in my offering of love. That is real love, Baba says. We are not talking about divine love, mind you. Divine love is something which is out of our ken, out of our hand, It is only a gift from God to man. So we are not talking that. The second is selfless service, where Baba talks a lot. Again, selfless service, we have spoken a lot. Selfless service is that service in which the person who is serving does not even get a thought that he is serving. So that is selfless service. We have done a lot on these two spokes. The third one, which is not given so much of importance, is about unity of all life, that all life is one. And to answer Sam's question in short, that is what the subject which was given to me. I'll say a few words. When the subject was given to me, when I was called to speak, I said, "Kuch halka phulka stories bata denge," because that's easy. The subject that was given to me was awareness of Baba's oneness within. Awareness of Baba's oneness within, which is a very profound subject. And I said, in that 45 minutes that you give, I cannot cover that. So what I did, I took the liberty of doing it in 3 sessions because I had 3 talks, all the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of December. So on the first, I took everything about oneness. What is oneness? What Baba has to say about oneness. Because oneness is the truth. Oneness is the reality. Ocean is the truth. Drop is not the truth. Paramatma is the truth. Atma is a Brahm, or it's just a Dikhava. So I spoke on that, only oneness. The second day was on manyness, because I won't know oneness unless I really know manyness. Manyness is separateness. Separateness we covered from discourses, whatever, anger, greed, lust, jealousy, hatred, pride, attachment, egoism, and all that. That was covered. And on the third day, I spoke about awareness. Awareness of Baba's oneness within. In other words, what Baba said, how to remember me, how to what all. So that was the subject, awareness. So in short, it was I feel it was beautifully covered and people got the value, because that is the whole idea of going to any Baba's program, is that they should be able to take home something. That includes our program here on the Zoom sessions as well. That there's no point in just coming, chalo time pass karenge. You have to take something, even if it is one sentence, one word out of that 1 hour. You should take home and try to internalize and apply that in our moment to moment living. So that was it. Coming back to the reading, Baba talks about here. My message has always been about love, divine. When one wholeheartedly loves God, one eventually loses oneself in the beloved and enters the eternal life of God. Baba has emphasized love to a very great extent. No doubt, there are these three parts, the karma yogi and the dhyan yogi and the devotion, bhakti yoga and all. It is there. But above all these things, Baba had given the importance to love, because where there is love, Baba said there is no need for all these things. You spontaneously love your beloved. There is no question of any set pattern, set position, set timing, set breathing exercises, set postures, nothing, nothing, nothing. You simply love him in the most natural way. Like a tree, such love has branches. Because many people don't know how to love God. If we have the time, let me see, we have the time. We will also read through that message of how to love God. I won't go deep into that, but just to go on record as to what Baba is, how beautifully he has explained. Because most of us will say, people say, love God. But God को तो देखा ही नहीं है, कैसे love करेगा? Or people who believe in Baba as God, they will say, well, how can we love him? He's an old man. How can we love this old man? So Baba has splendidly given that how to love God, which we will read out. I know you already know, but still, just to go on record so that people who hear it much later, whatever they know, how Baba has said how to love God. So here Baba says, love has branches, and then Baba talks about wholehearted devotion, wholehearted again, not what is in it for me. If I'm devoted to a certain deity or God, what am I going to get? No, wholehearted, just devotion. Perfect non-violence. Baba has given a lot of importance to non-violence, and not the non-violence which was practiced during the Independence Day, because Baba has written chapters on non-violence, where at a particular level, Baba says that there is a sort of violence, and this comes to be spoken as the non-violence of the courageous. So, in other words, if you feel that something is going wrong, like Baba gives this example, that something is happening and a woman is being harassed or whatever, and you go and really, give him a tight slap or help out. It is a violent act, but this is the non-violence of the brave. It is also considered as non-violence. So there are certain chapters in this course. So perfect non-violence, perfect selfless service. Again, where there is no thought of self at all. Self-denial. That self-denial could also mean to have a less of your egoism. Self-denial can also mean like how we say in the Aarti, Neti Neti Veda Pukar. Neti, I'm not this. I'm not this. If somebody said something to me, I would not take it personally. I would just say it doesn't matter to me, because a very important sentence is, I think it was taken from Buddha's teachings, Lord Buddha's teachings, where he said, if it hurts, means if somebody said something and I feel hurt, it is your ego. So what hurts is the ego. If the ego is not there, it doesn't feel hurt. If somebody says some rubbish things about me, and I know it's all rubbish, why do I react? Why do I become violent? Why does it hurt me? Why should it hurt me? It hurts me because of my ego. So I would interpret that way. Self-sacrifice, where Baba talks about the seven realities, where Baba talks about sacrifice, that you sacrifice everything, even your very life, in pursuance of that goal, which is existence, which is the astitva of everything. Self-renunciation, again, Baba talks about renouncing, and Baba talks about external renunciation, internal renunciation. Baba emphasizes on internal renunciation, which means be involved in the world, do your business, make money, go to office, be totally running about here, there, everywhere. But internally, think this is all Baba's. Think that you are not attached to it. Think that it's not going to worry me if the results are going to come according to my expectation or totally according to what Baba had already, like, what should I say? For okay, whatever Baba wishes. We always say, that when we work upon a certain project, the results can be only two ways. One is as I want, and the second is as God wants. And so it's a win-win situation. But that doesn't mean that you don't endeavor or you don't make an attempt or don't make an effort. It simply means that you don't feel disturbed, perturbed, agitated, irritated, worried, stressed, tension. All that is not there. Okay, this is what result came. Maybe Baba wanted this in this way. Maybe my efforts were not so, consistent or whatever. So I increased the effort. But there should be no worry. There should be no tension. There should be no beating yourself up because of the result. That is how I would look at it. So, in other words, complete self-surrenderance, self-sacrifice us, and self-annihilation. Again, self-annihilation, as I said, is annihilation of the false ego, because ego can never be annihilated. The mind is to be annihilated. We have done this before so many times. Ego is to be transformed into the real ego. In this love is embodied all the yogas known to saints and seekers. All the yogas that may be there, they are all included in this kind of love. And that is the reason why Baba gave so much importance to love. The highest aspect of this love, which surpasses that of love itself, is the aspect of complete surrenderance to the will of the beloved. It's a very, very high order. It's something which is very top of the line. Complete surrenderance to the will of the beloved. It means, I would put it this way in my limited understanding, it means you are okay with anything and everything that is happening within and without you. Without means outside of you. It means there is no reaction to whatever is happening. You are in a state of tathast. You are in a state of equipoise, equanimity, whatever you call it, where anything that is happening, you feel, you think, you behave, it is happening by the will of my beloved Lord. And therefore, who are you to oppose it or to react to it? So that this is my interpretation. The highest is the aspect of complete surrenderance to the will of the beloved, that is absolute obedience to his wishes. So another way of looking at it is that you obey his any and every wish, whatever the cost. Don't talk about what will happen to your sleep, what will happen to my comfort, what will happen to my convenience, what will happen to my monetary status, what will happen to my health. Whatever the cost, you simply obey the wish of the beloved. So that is what it is. But now, since we are doing love, I have taken this print out. Soumya will read it out. I don't think we may require, but just read for record's sake, as I said. Baba has emphasized a lot on loving God. And a novice may say, how can I love God? I don't even know him. I don't even see him. So this is the practical way of loving God. I'm sorry?
I have only one message to give, and I repeat it age after age. Love God. How to love God? To love God in the most practical way is to love our fellow beings. If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our own dear ones, we love God. If instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves, we are loving God. If instead of robbing others to help ourselves, we rob ourselves to help others, we are loving God. If we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. If instead of worrying over our misfortunes, we think of
Our
ourselves,
own misfortune.
our own misfortunes, thank you, Baba, we think of ourselves more fortunate than many others, we are loving God. If we endure our lot with patience and contentment, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of life is to love God and to find Him as our own self. Avatar Meher Baba.
Okay. I thought I would not be explaining, but I thought now I feel that, okay, how to, in the most practical way, how should we love? Because the other message again is about love God, so that will go well with it. You know? If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our own dear ones, we love God. Uh, I remember, since Sam is on the screen, I remember him once sharing that he was on the same flight, Mother Teresa, and he himself said, I asked the very stupid question of her, how do I love? What should I do? So she said very simply, when you get down, when you deplane and go, if you find some poor person who is homeless, you just take him to your home and feed him and all that. Oh, that's a very extreme case. I mean, I don't know how many of us would do it. And how practical it could be, we do not know. Because each one has their own way of functioning and loving God. But that is what if we feel for others, if my baby is, fell, if he falls down running, small child, and you say, oh, lulu, 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 and all that. If somebody else has fallen down, you don't even take care. So in other words, feeling for others in the same way as we feel for our own being. Yes, Sam, you want to say something? You are on the screen. That's okay. Okay. If instead of seeing faults in others, many of us are PhD in finding out what are the faults of others. This is wrong, that is wrong, this should not have been done, this should have been done like this. So Baba says, if we, instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves. We try to find out how much of faults I am having and try to improve upon that, then that is loving God. If instead of robbing others to help ourselves, that is greed, taking from somebody, we are selfless. We give to somebody what we already have. We rob ourselves to help others. We are living God. This was given again on the same occasion, 12th September 1954, 3 incredible weeks. All right. If we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. Most of us, what do? If somebody is suffering, ये उनका कर्मा है, इतना खराब काम किया, let him go through this. And if somebody is happy, somebody has got some lottery, you become jealous. You become jealous of that. So Baba says, if we suffer in the suffering of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. If instead of worrying over our own misfortunes, we think of ourselves more fortunate than many others, we are loving God. There is not a single being, I mean, there may be very few, above whom there is nobody. They are top. But then if I say, oh my God, so many, he's a millionaire, he has got so many homes, so many cars, so many wives, etc., etc. Instead of thinking of ourselves as going through a certain, I would look down on people who are so less fortunate than me. And I am in a state of gratitude. I am thankful to Baba for every little thing that he has given. Then we are loving God. If we endure our lot with patience and contentment, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. We all go through a roller coaster ride. Some may have physical issues, some may have emotional issues, some may have health issues, some may have financial issues. We are all roller coaster riders. But if we have cultivated the art of gratitude, of thanking Baba for what we have, rather than weeping and wailing for what we do not have, and we accept everything that comes to us as His will, then we are loving God. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. This hurting somebody is a very, very sensitive thing, because once you hurt, and you can hurt not just physically, you can hurt them by your words, by your emotions, by your acts. So Baba says, if you do not hurt anybody, in the knowledge that by hurting that person you are hurting Baba, then you are loving God. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of life is to love God and to find Him as our own self. That means live for God and die for God. Die for God doesn't mean that you commit suicide or something. Die for God would mean that die to your false self. Gradually and slowly, I am not this, I am not that. When we die to our false self, we live in God as Himself. So that is my very quick. Sorry. Now we go to April 7th. This is the photograph. April. We are reading Eternal Calendar. April 7th.
I have only one message
The same thing is coming. Yeah.
to give, and that is love God. So do not seek various messages through various mediums or channels, nor be deceived into thinking that I am sending my message through any of messages through any of you. I am ever conscious that I am in you, while you are never conscious that I am in you. Daily, I support you and share your consciousness. Now, I want you to uphold me and share my consciousness one day.
Repetition of what we just did. I have only one message to give, and that is love God. Baba again has emphasized a lot on love. But the following paragraph is very important. So, do not seek various messages through various mediums or channels. Baba had said in the last warning, where after I drop my body, there would be various people, who are supposedly, the so-called helpers of humanity. Now there are many, there's no doubt, and we are no judge. We cannot judge, and we should not judge whether what they are doing is supposedly good or they are only doing it to aggrandize their own self, to aggrandize their own ego. There are various people who are supposedly getting messages from various channels and various mediums. There are mediums, there are channels, and they are giving these messages. And again, it's up to each one of us how much to believe in that and how much to not. But my personal take is, I have been very, very, very close to one of such persons, and we all know Nanum Rigger. And never have we asked, never have we bothered to know. Our only, what should I say, placement in all that was happening was to see that Baba's messages are conveyed in a very appropriate manner. So our role was that in being so close to this beautiful lady. And she had been responsible for bringing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people into Baba's fold, especially the youngsters. And the great thing about her is she never claimed to be somebody special. She was one of us and would never allow people to bow down or something like that. Very sweet, very childlike. When we used to go to Pune and have our sessions, mainly at Zia's home or anybody else's home, she would be asking such simple, innocent, childlike questions. So that, in short, the head was over the shoulder all the time. But I know of other people who have been really up there, you see. So anyway, again, we are not discussing anybody, not judging anybody. We are only saying what Baba has to say. And Baba has to say, so do not seek various messages through various mediums or channels, nor be deceived into thinking that I am sending my message through any of you. Whatever one wants to.
messages.
My messages. She's correcting me on the same word. My messages through any of you. So it's up to you to take it or leave it. Right? I am ever conscious that I am in you. Baba says that God is not only infinite, but he is also indivisible, cannot be divided. Elsewhere, Baba himself says that God is indivisibly in each one of you. That means it is not that God is in somebody in a lesser degree, in somebody else in a more degree, in somebody who's doing a lot of Baba work, so Baba is too much. No, Baba is indivisibly the same in each one of us. And Baba says that I am ever conscious that I am in you, because Baba is consciousness personified. He's omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. While you are never conscious that I am in you, we are not conscious that Baba is in us. We take it, we believe, we have faith that but we are not conscious. The moment we become conscious, then obviously we become Baba. So Baba says, while you are never conscious that I am in you, then Baba goes on to say, daily I support you and share your consciousness. Because Baba is in us, he is supporting us in every which way, and he is sharing our consciousness. In other words, like Baba had elsewhere said, that I in myself is totally free, but I in you all totally bound. So when Baba says, I have come not to teach but to awaken, awaken what? Awaken whom? Awaken himself in each one of us, because he is in each one of us. Elsewhere, Baba had said words to the effect, again the same thing, that I enjoy infinite bliss eternally. I am blissful. But because I am in you all, and you all are bound in your own way to sufferings and all that, and because I have a universal body and a universal mind, and therefore I suffer continuously in each one of them. There is one mic open, somebody's mic, I don't know who it is. Anyway, so in other words, what Baba says, I am ever conscious that I am in you, while you are never conscious that I am in you. Daily, I support you and share your consciousness. I am supporting your consciousness. Now, I want you to uphold me. That means we need to uphold Baba's presence within us. How do we uphold? By remembering him constantly. How do we uphold? By constantly consulting with him within, with regard to the responses that we have to give in life of the, like batsmen betting from all the ball that is being thrown against us. Life will throw a lot of muck. How are we responding? Are we responding as an individual human being, A, B, C, D, or are we responding as a representative of Baba? Are we responding, consulting Baba? Baba, what should I do now? This is happening in my life. How should I respond? I would look at it that way when he says, I want you to uphold me and share my consciousness one day. And if we keep upholding Baba, if we keep consulting Baba, if we keep going to the source within us all the time, in order to know what our responses should be of whatever Baba is, whatever the life is throwing at us, then perhaps Baba says, you will share my consciousness one day. We are at 6:29. 6:29 and 33 seconds. Anybody has anything to ask, share? Welcome. Oh, all quiet on the Western Front. Oh, Sam has something to say. Sam, go ahead, please. Sorry, I did not see. Go ahead. Unmute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It reminds me of an incident that happened at Merazad in the Mandli Hall
हाँ जी
whilst Erach was there.
जी
And, he was not keeping too well. So people, when they were gathered around, he was sitting down. And then somebody walked in. And he took support and help and tried to stand up. And that fellow said, no, Erach, it's all right. Don't bother. Please remain seated. This, that. He said, no, why are you depriving me of embracing Baba in you? I will never forget that.
very true.
It is so beautiful.
Yes.
That he feeling that there is Baba in you and he wants to embrace that, not the idiot Sam Patel standing in front of him.
Correct.
I just thought I'd...
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So we should all cultivate that habit of seeing Baba in each one of us and in everything. All right, Sherry has something to share. Sherry?
Jai Baba, Cyrus uncle, sorry, the baby started crying. So
Go on.
yeah.
You can share the
Oh, okay.
you wanted to share the crying.
No. I wanted to share the blissful feeling of both your hugs. When I met you, it was my first meeting at Delhi Center.
Okay.
And somebody once said that, if you have I think Sam uncle, it was you, that if you ever have an opportunity, जिन लोगों ने बाबा को मिले हैं या मंडली मेंबर को मिले हैं, उन लोगों को एक बार मिलो और उनका हग मिले, तो तुम्हें डिफरेंस पता चलेगा. And I was like feeling so beautiful. Soumya auntie, Cyrus uncle, thank you so much.
Soumya auntie का तो hug
Soumya auntie,
बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
Sorry?
Soumya auntie का hug तो मेरे को भी बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
आपको तो डबल अच्छा लगेगा ना.
Anyway, thanks a lot for everything. Thank you very much. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. See you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday for sure. Baba willing, we will be at the center. We'll do it at the center. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Oh, Sam has something to say. Kami, you still have something to say?
I may just make a small announcement.
Please, of course.
This Thursday, apna Prashant Ahir will be talking. He is another intellect giant like you. So I would like people to come in and share things with him this Thursday. That's all. Jai Baba.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.